Now to our series, Flipping the Script, featuring people on air, on screen, and behind the scenes, shining a spotlight on diversity. Enter Rudy Valdez, the two-time Emmy award-winning filmmaker, has become known in the film world for his dedication to telling powerful, diverse stories. Valdez rose to prominence for his work on the HBO docuseries The Sentence, which examined the impact of mandatory minimum sentences through his sister's 15-year sentence. He also directed the documentary Carlos, about the life of legendary guitarist Carlos Santana. And now his newest project is taking him back to his home state of Michigan. Choir, which is set to debut on Disney Plus later this month, follows the Detroit Youth Choir after its appearance on America's Got Talent. This morning, we are lucky enough to be joined in studio by Rudy Valdez. Thank you for being here. So we're going to be very clear. This is a movie with music in it.
It has some music in it.
And that's pretty good. Talk to me about Choir, what it's about, and why you wanted to tell this story.
Well, it's a six-part series about the Detroit Youth Choir, and I think one of the big reasons I wanted to tell this story is to be able to come back to my home state and tell a story about Detroit that, you know, oftentimes in the media gets kind of a bad rap. And I wanted to be a part of this story because I wanted to come in and really tell a different version of what it means to grow up in Detroit. I'm not from there, but I have many people that I know that live there and have had wonderful lives coming from there. And I'm like, there's always another version of that story. And I wanted the kids to be emblematic of Detroit and let them share with you what it's like to be from there.
It seems to be a thread to the work you do, is telling stories about communities where often maybe stories aren't told about them, or the stories that are told don't really tell the full story. Why is that so important?
I mean, I think it's representation. I think, you know, part of what's important about being a storyteller and being a storyteller of color is that, you know, we're finally able to come in and tell our versions of what it's like to grow up in this country. And you know, they don't always have to be tales of woe. They don't always have to be these sort of rags to riches stories. Like, we can just be great. We can be great without an asterisk, and I want to go out there and tell these stories in that manner.
Is there a moment from Choir, without giving too much away, that just really stands out, or a message you think that's really going to permeate?
I mean, I think what's amazing about Choir is, you know, many people know the Detroit Youth Choir from AGT, and they see this snippet of the greatness that they are. But what we've really tried to do is really show that before AGT, there was 23 years of buildup to that moment. There was a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of love, and it shows you what happens when you believe in people, when you put time into kids, and when you really have a passion. Like, you can really make a difference.
Let's talk about The Sentence. It is about mandatory minimum sentences, but it's also about your sister. Yeah. I'm guessing that maybe it wasn't an easy story to tell, but why was it so important for you to?
I mean, it was important to tell because, again, I think that you could look at that story and it could be, again, a tale of woe, a tale of, like, here's another thing that's happening to a community of color, and we can really dwell on what that means. Or, you know, you can go in and tell that story and share it in a way that is filled with agency and hope and resilience, and show that version of what it means to be a part of this criminal justice system, you know, which always, you know, seems to be stories of tearing us down, but this was one of building up.
Carlos Santana. You got to, I mean, how closely did you work with him during this project? What was that like?
I mean, it was amazing. I got to work very closely with Carlos, and, you know, just to be able to sit there and speak with a legend like him about his memories, his life, and all the things that he's been through, but then also get to look at this, you know, 50, 60 years of archive, looking at Woodstock, looking at all these things, and having the challenge of encapsulating that into a single film. It was dream come true.
I mean, a lot of stories have been told about Carlos Santana, so why did you want to tell a version?
I think, you know, he was somebody who inspired me when I was younger, you know, somebody who looked like me, who refused to be boxed in, to say, you know, I have to play mariachi music, or I have to do this, after that. He really was a trailblazer, and he was somebody that I looked at, especially as a young Latino storyteller, was like, what kind of stories can I tell? And he reminded me that I didn't have to be limited by that.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.